You just had to be the first comment, did you, Scotty?
Hey,
you just had to be, huh?
I gotta say something.
Welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, because it could be Thursday if you're watching from us overseas. Welcome.
Damn. So should I go ahead and write it a second?
I mean, you could if you want to. Welcome to
if
the
you want my sloppy
edition.
seconds, that's on you.
Oh, damn. Now I'm third. Damn it.
Good evening, Matty Ice. How are you? Welcome. Episode 80. This is the Vernon Davis or George Kittle 85th edition of The Other Side of the Ball. I am the Blackskin Ryu, live from Shadowloo. I'm joined by Schoolhouse Rock. I'm joined by the Viking from Asgard. And I'm joined by 2-5 Live in the Bucket Hat. Lots to discuss. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Fucking amazing.
Fabulous. At least y'all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear Chris live as he has some new toys to use. Got himself a new microphone. That's always good to see. So
every time I hear new toys, I think something different.
Yeah, I know.
Of course you do.
Cock
Good
rings and
evening,
butt
Mr. Bridges. Thank you for...
Oh, there goes YouTube.
Here we go.
Within the first 2 minutes. My bad.
The bus stuff's coming out. Hello, Mr. Bridges. Good evening, Travis. How are you guys doing? So, there was a news briefing last week that discussed some things as we are approaching the season finale. As much as we were excited for it to get here, just that quickly, the regular season isn't, but there's still, at least out here in Nevada, there's still 2 more weeks for us before the playoffs, and we will talk about all that. But just in case you missed it, we are going to go over this whole playoff format situation once again. So fans, get ready to take some notes as we're about to go through this one more time. And hello, Little John, how are you? So here we go. So
is that on purpose?
One more time. Here's the format. No, it's not on purpose. The music, yes, the music on purpose. Anyhow. Well, okay. All right.
Did we lose Dub?
All right. No, you did not lose me. I'm showing the slide.
So it looks like 1 versus 6, 2 versus 5, 3 versus 4. Vegas winners will be 1, 2, and 4 seeds in the West final. Sunday, June 9th. Nice. Hope you guys are
Sunday,
back.
June 9th at Matter Academy. All right, so the West Final Four will be made up like this. The top Vegas team will be the number 1 seed. The Midwest winner will travel to Las Vegas and be the 2 seed. And the remaining Vegas teams will be the 3 and the 4 seed. The Vegas 1 seed, bless you, the Vegas 1 seed will play the Vegas 4 seed. And the 2 seed, the Midwest champion, will play the 3 seed. What does that mean? So, hypothetically, if the season ended today, right now, the West Final Four will be based on this seeding. In the first game at 1 p.m., a rematch of last season's playoff game between Sickwitted and the Force, in which Sickwitted won by a final score of 27-25. Then at 4 p.m., a rematch of last year's Western Conference Championship that took place in Ohio, with the Chaos getting another chance to redeem themselves against the defending champions, the Insomniacs. All right, you're taking notes? All right, now.
Let me just jump in and say this real quick, because I've seen some of the stuff that was posted. For everybody who was not listening, understand you made the playoffs. This is a what if it happened and it was decided today. Right,
well, hence why it was put in big letters. But there, thank you, Chris, for the reiteration or the re-emphasis.
It could be in big letters, man, but it ain't gonna.
That's why we said hypotheticals. Hypothetical. All right, now, once the West is won, in Ohio on July the 7th, you will get the number 1 seed from the West playing the number 2 seed from the East. And the East number 1 seed will play the West number 2 seed. So that Final Four will take place July the 7th in Ohio.
And this has been decided now?
No, this is based on today's rankings. If it was based on today,
I'm not talking about the teams. I'm just talking about the format.
The format. That's what was given to me, and that's what we're reporting. And if something changes, we will give you another news briefing to that changing. Okay, so if it was hypothetically based on today's rankings, as in today, May the 15th, this would be your East-West matchup. Sick with it. Matching up against the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Tampa Nightcrawlers. And the winner between the Chaos and the Insomniacs would take on the Trenton Brothers in Christ, a.k.a. the BIC. So, it all comes down to this. You possibly could have an all Eastern time zone final in Ohio, or an all West Coast possible final, or a West Coast versus Midwest championship game. The championship game will take place in Ohio on July the 21st, 2024. So,
yeah, maybe I should look about booking my tickets.
If we're going now, understand this is hypotheticals. So there you see what the Final Four East-West would be right here. Now,
that's a tough Final Four.
You could have a Nightcrawlers versus BIC final. You can get a rematch of last year's championship game between the Nightcrawlers and the Insomniacs. You could get the Nightcrawlers against the Chaos. You could get Sick against BIC. You could get BIC against the Chaos. So, a whole lot of things could happen in this format, which the playoffs will take place starting on June the 9th and going up to the championship game, July the 21st in Ohio, in the Midwest.
So it's going to be played in Ohio, not in Indianapolis.
That is, well, they're saying Ohio, but it could be Indy. We don't know yet. But as we come back and you see our faces. Hi, how are you?
And I'm sorry, I'm looking.
So
at, I'm looking at flights right now. That's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm hoping we can get an answer on that. Whether they mean Ohio or just like the Ohio division is hosting it, and that would be Indianapolis. I don't know. I'm hoping Indy, like seeing their stadium and their setup and everything, that it looks sick. I think that would be cool. I don't know. I'm hoping. What's up, Big Rob? What's up, Darren Palmer, Travis,
Mr. Fabian? Given the information that was given to us, it looks like somewhere in the Midwest area, either at the Field House in Indy or in Ohio, that's where the championship games and the Final Four will take place at. Now, the only thing about the field in Indy, unfortunately, they don't have no hash marks marked on the field. That perhaps might be the only issue if there is one.
I mean, that's something that's very
it's fixable. That's fixable.
Because I mean, in Ohio, we would be outside again, and we'd have to have the the weather we'd have to take into consideration.
Rob, I don't think any of us would be opposed going back to the field house at Bullhead City. That was a tremendous facility.
Man. Nobody would be upset
not to mention that whole weekend was fun because of, look, y'all stayed in houses. I stayed across the river at the hotel, and I had many drunken nights. So I'm ready to do that again.
Yes, you did. And then, of course, that was the infamous nickname that I got my other alias from one Mr. Luis Ojeda.
Yep.
Which, by the way, shout out to Mr. Ojeda. Who did a fantastic, who did a fantastic job.
At the combine.
It was yes.
A lot of fun.
And, Mike Tyson, a lot of fun.
Fuck it, let's go to Miami.
Well, Big Rob said that last year at Bullhead. He said that last year.
Yeah, I like Big Rob saying that. If I go to Miami, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back.
Well, I will say that if I end up going,
you gotta come back to get all your Milwaukee tools.
Yep, man,
yes,
look,
yes,
you can ship them.
Yes.
It's all right. UPS.
I'll just say this: if I go to Miami, there's just one thing I have to do, and I've been saying this forever. But I have to drive. No, hell no. Oh. That's you, not me. No, what I want to do is
you don't tell around here. I'm a good guy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you tell Blue Chew.
Yeah, that's that.
Yes, Sarah Palmer. DP, I agree 1,010%. Yes.
Do you think you could use a Blue Chew as a suppository?
We're gonna hang a star on that, baby.
Man, the only reason it's scary is because his ass will turn friggin' lobster red from being outside too damn much.
Yeah, I'm already. I'm there.
Skin will match your beard.
So here's a question that Big Rob is going to ask the panel. He says, so with the potential Final Four, BIC, Insomniacs, and Sick versus the Nightcrawlers, what do you think of those 4 particular matchups? So I'm guessing he is inquiring that
the Chaos will lose but before we get to that, again. Which I also believe in, but
not even consideration right this second.
I wanted to say before we get to that, I definitely been watching a lot of film this week, and Chaos are a little bit better than I like. I think I refuse to pay attention for the first part of the season just on principle, and I just kind of went with their bad based on the last showing that I had seen them in, and goddamn, I was wrong. I think they're playing good ball. Like, I don't think they have very much competition to like sharpen that iron against, but they're playing really good ball. Do I think they could beat the Insomniacs? No, but I think it's gonna be that offense got some fucking power to it, bro. That offense really got some power to it. I like what they're doing. But man, goddamn, BIC moves the ball really fucking well.
Know.
At number 5 from BIC, I don't know homeboy's name. But number 5 is everywhere on that defense. Like, that boss man gets a lot of credit, and he plays well. He plays hard. But I think that number 5 from BIC, like, I was watching it. I had to watch it on silent because I was at work still, so I couldn't necessarily hear them calling out names and stuff. But number 5, that dude was really balling. He was everywhere, in on damn near every tackle. Number 5 on BIC, Big Rob. He looked like big light-skinned dude. I don't know his ethnicity or whatever. He had a Pooh Shiesty on, but he was out there balling. Boss man gets a lot of credit for the work he does on the line, and that man's strong. That's a strong. You can tell by the way he plays. He finishes plays unnecessarily, and I really enjoy that. Like, he'll be completely away from the play, have somebody hemmed up and just shove the fuck out of him. I like that type of energy. Like, that's the type of shit we need. I like those linemen. That's good shit. I really like that. Fucking Nightcrawlers are the fucking Nightcrawlers, bro. Like, I don't know. I think Sick versus Nightcrawlers, I think stylistically is a crazy matchup. We saw it earlier. That in the comments, I believe it was Brother, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe oh god damn it, I looked at the comments, I lost my train of thought, my bad. Somebody help me out.
I was gonna say, did you freeze?
Nah, I was looking at Brother mentioned something, god damn it.
He said
it was about 6 corners. Yeah, he was talking about 6 corners, right? And about how Logo and and about how Logo or Ashante Worthy would line up against 6 corners. And now we know 6 corners can hit with the best of them. The long ball, a long jump ball, has been something that has been a challenge for them against better teams and against taller receivers. And we can't forget Logo can jump out of the gym. You know what I mean? Like that, he plays like he's 6'5". So
without
you know what I mean? Like I think that's a very good point. I think that poses a big problem for SICK if they can address that. But also at the same time, Bagway is it's a whole different animal.
Man,
Bagway is a whole different animal.
Bagway
his stride is so long and his decision making is so quick. It's like his reaction time. Like I always talk to his reaction time is crazy. Yeah.
You got to be on it, because if you let one of the wide receivers have just a little bit of an opening, they're gonna take it, and Bagway will too. So you got to be on your man when you're playing them. And the fact of the matter is, he looks for Logo quite often, but it's not his main. It's not. You can see when they were playing in the championship last year, you could see the fact that Bagway was definitely looking for Logo, but it wasn't his main guy. What I'm saying in that is was it his first read? Yes, but his second and third he got to very quickly. So I see what you're saying, Scott. He
makes decisions incredibly fast. So like
very fast on where he wants to go with the ball.
No, and look, I'm seeing some reactions in the comments, man. Like I don't know. I don't know if it was just who they were playing against. I watched the BIC. I just watched BIC versus Silk City while I was at work today. And I watched the Chaos Heist game. But in BIC versus Silk City, which I understand Silk City is not what they were. They really aren't.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. He was in on a lot of plays. He was playing with a lot of energy. He's a big dude. It seemed like he was making a lot of plays in that game that I seen. I'll go back and watch more. It's hard not to pay attention to their offense. I like the way their offensive line works, regardless of the big plays and stuff they put up. I really like watching how their line works.
I got a question, just real quick, because brother put up here and says Southern got part 2 slow.
Shep ain't covering Logo, bro. Come on.
No. I want to know if he's talking about playing against Chaos or if he's talking about playing against the Nightcrawlers. So
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Now, while we try to figure that out, I was just finna say Drew had a point where he said we're just gonna count out the U.
No, man.
I was going off of the question that was posed.
That's the thing that I knew, that as soon as we started talking about certain teams, we would get somebody say, "Oh, you counting out this person? You count?" We're not counting out anybody. The fact of the matter is, it was brought up to us about these certain teams playing against each other, so we're talking about it. You want to know who we're counting out? Nobody, because the playoffs haven't even taken place yet. So nobody's counting out a damn person. So get that out of your head.
Now, again, the slides we were showing you, this was based off if the season ended today. This is not the be all to end all. Like I said, technically speaking, for Florida, the Northeast, and Ohio, this is the season finale. Now, it's not the season finale for us because we do have a makeup week to do during Memorial Day weekend, and then that'll be the finale. And then whatever the seeding is for the playoffs in the Northeast is what it is, and then it will all come to meet here on July the 7th for the Final Four between East 1, West 2, West 1, East 2. So, I mean, a lot of things can happen. Again, the slides that we show were just based on, hypothetically, if the season ended today. And of course, you can never count out the U, especially with a returning Huff coming back to the lineup. You can never count them out. Absolutely not. You will not count them out. You would be a
Drew. You would be a fool. Just Drew. You chill. You're the one that was asking if we're counting people out. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good
on that one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What's that?
I love you, Chris, but you got a little spicy on that one.
Well, because I'm tired. I've seen it. We've seen it in the chats. We've seen it. We put up hypotheticals last week, We talked about
Right.
hypotheticals last week, and dudes were talking about, I ain't even going to play in the game then because it doesn't matter. And we were talking about hypotheticals. So yeah, I get a little spicy because I'm tired of everybody blaming us for what they hear and not listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets old, man. It gets old.
Yeah, no. All I'm saying is, I understand, like, because, like, I mean, if they're looking for a complete overview, like, that's not what this particular segment was. We were posed a question and a hypothetical, and we're trying to respond to that.
Exactly.
But yeah, my bad. I'm can somebody carry for me real quick? I'm in a conversation.
No, well, there was a question related to you, Scott, because Big Rob wanted to know, damn, Scott, sick is that small?
See, I was just responding to that. No, what I said was, if you look at my comment, I said compared to Silk, like Silk City. He's trying to give you some bullshit. He's trying to give you some bullshit. Yeah, no. He like, dude was big on film. Look, if you go back and you watch the film and the rewind that they just played, he looked big compared to who he's playing against. Not like lineman big. He looked like a linebacker. Like, he don't look bigger than Wilkerson, but he looked about that size. Like, Wilkerson's a big running back. He's not a big ass linebacker, but it's a big dude. You know what I mean? Like, still 250 coming at you downhill. 250 is a big dude compared to
Chris,
most people in Vegas.
Fuck that. 285, 90 look better.
So, Chris, are we going to have another get-together on October the 27th? Another Sunday night get-together, you and I?
Oh, shit. Is that when we're playing against each other again?
Damn. That is correct, good sir, yes.
And, let me guess. It's in Frisco again. And I ain't talking Frisco,
It's in
Texas.
Santa Clara again. It's in Santa Clara. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. Just
want
to get that out the way.
I'm good.
I didn't talk ish the last time.
You didn't talk shit. I'm good. I'm good, man. You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Anybody more than welcome.
Instead I took a dog.
When it comes to football, man, my TVs are always on.
This is true. This is a factual statement. But anyhow, that's the hypotheticals. Again, like I said, anything could happen from now until the Final Four in Ohio gets there.
What is the lead up? What is the rankings in the East look like? Where is BIC Patterson? Like, how does what would Patterson use path to the playoff, path to the finals be? Like, obviously they got to get through BIC, but at what point? Like, is that their last game or is that like their walk-in game?
No, no, they could be number two. They could be number two, because if you remember what he was showing earlier, it's number one versus number two, number one versus number two. So one in the East versus two in the West, one in the West versus two in the East. So if Patterson U is number two, yes, they're playing.
Rob, you can't call in. We're not in the studio, but if you want to come on,
he can hop on.
He can call my phone and we can.
Hey, don't do a three-way like he's in jail. Come on.
Hey, look, he'll be all right.
We're not trying to record an album from lockup.
No, Rob. If you want to come on the show, all you have to do is just ask. The link will be sent to you, and all you gotta do is just click on the link, and we'll let you in.
I don't know, man. Look, and all due respect to Patterson U, they got a hell of a game. They got a hell of a team, but if they got to win if they have to beat the Crawlers, I don't know.
Man, here we go.
Patterson U's a big team. They're a big bruising team.
Number two over Nightcrawlers. I said it is a possibility. Again. Man.
Well, two doesn't play three, right?
Now,
three plays.
Right now, now, if you look at the standings.
Never mind. I'm confused. I'm not drunk enough.
If you look at the standings, and we're just talking about right now, New Jersey, DC, and Florida. Right now, obviously, BIC number one. They're 6-0. Now, yes, the Patterson U is 4-1. The Nightcrawlers are 3-0. However, if you're looking at net points, the Nightcrawlers are 4 up on the U in net points. So that could be something that could come into play as to why the Nightcrawlers might be considered the number 2 seed. Then you have, of course, the Watchmen at 3-2, Silk City at 3-2. So I mean, those guys are trying to fight for a playoff spot per se. So I mean, there's definitely a lot to play for here in Week 7 because playoff spots and playoff seeding is on the line. Obviously, now again, I mean, it's a lot to ask for, but I mean, right now, it's between the Nightcrawlers, Watchmen, and the Animals buying for some playoff spots because I think we can say that BIC is automatically in the playoffs regardless if they win or lose on Sunday. Given with their 6-0 record,
from the East, the top 4 in the playoffs.
That I don't know. Maybe Rob and or Mr. Ryan can give us clarity on that.
Doug, shoot Big Rob the link real quick in Facebook. Let us carry for a second, and you take care of that. Shoot him a link. That way, we're not guessing at a bunch of shit. That way, we could just get somebody else's view. That way, if he's wrong, we could blame him instead of us guessing at shit.
But see, that's the thing. Even when talking hypotheticals, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying? That's that everybody's getting caught up in the names that's being said, as opposed to just, again, understanding that these are just possibilities. You feel me? But again, that's why we really shouldn't be speaking on the hypotheticals because of how into it, right? We can say people can get without really paying attention because they still have a few weeks left. We still have a few weeks left. So it really ain't no say on how shit could turn out. You feel me? So you're gonna get people talking about we're counting out certain teams, or you're gonna get motherfuckers thinking and assuming that, you know what I'm saying, we're not necessarily paying attention to what's going on to the East, you know what I'm saying, the East Coast. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get what we're trying to do, but in a sense, it just causes a bunch of bullshit.
Yep. And like they said today, playoffs aren't decided. All games are for seeding. Even though we think that some of it is a foregone conclusion because of upsets, and we're not expecting teams to get upset. So the fact of the matter is, everything we're talking about right now is hypotheticals. Everything.
Keep it real, Chris. Half of the questions that come across, they don't expect you to get upset, but it happens.
Yep.
We call that passion, folks. That's what we call that. Also, for those that are watching, you can also listen to us wherever podcasters go.
Those fucking eyes creep me out. I swear to God, because it's like your head is in the middle. Your head is in the middle, so I'm like, what?
I can't stop looking at it. It's fucking me up.
Swear to God.
It makes his head look like a little dick between big balls.
Oh shit, these are growing out of short.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
So big in
all right. All right, joining us to give some clarity of what the playoff situation is back in the Northeast. Multi-time A7FL champion, of course. He is part of the broadcast team with Matt Ryan and Corey Hammond. One that's never at a loss of words and always likes to stir shit up. The one, the only, Big Rob Fabian. Big man, welcome.
What's going on, fellas? Glad to be here. Can y'all hear me?
You know good and goddamn well that wires are not in style. Okay, put the wire.
No, these aren't wires. These aren't wires. They're wireless wires. These are the best headphones I have right now. They're the greatest. You can hear me, right?
Put them behind your neck.
No. If I put them behind my neck, you can't hear me. The microphone's over here. The microphone's in the front.
You put it behind you. The microphone on your shoulder.
Y'all don't want that. Nah. You listen. Y'all gonna see this baby blue wire, and y'all gonna keep it. Nah, but I do, and Knoccz, I definitely want to, address what you kind of said.
Big man.
No problem. Knoccz, you are right. These are a lot of hypotheticals. And people do start to get upset. Chris, again, you guys are right. Like, people do get upset. But me personally, I don't give a fuck what they get upset about. I'm saying what I would feel like saying. If they don't like it, oh well. You feel me? Like, prove me wrong. I always say the same thing. Prove me wrong. If you don't like what I'm saying, just prove me wrong. So the way the playoffs are set up, and everybody that's in the first round for June 2nd is going to get offended because I'm really overlooking y'all. BIC is supposed to beat whoever they're supposed to beat. The Nightcrawler is supposed to beat whoever they're supposed to beat. I don't care about them that first round. That second round would be BIC versus the U and Nightcrawlers versus Watchmen. That round is the round I care about because I'm barely going to watch the first round.
That's going to be some
so
shit.
let me ask you though. Let me ask you with the, let's just say, right, hypothetically, if that shit was to happen again, do you see BIC pulling out the same way that they did, or do you see the U actually giving them some fucking comp this time and it going a different way? And I say that because looking at the score, it doesn't necessarily tell the story. You feel me? And we've said that on numerous occasions. I had to go back for myself and really watch it.
Watch the game.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it really came down to that fourth quarter where it was like, okay, that 3-on-1 return, that shit got ugly. You feel me? And then they ended up getting the ball back on like a pick or a fumble. That shit got ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you see them fixing those mistakes and actually coming down to, like, let's just say the last wire? Or do they pull it out?
So based off of like history, whoever wins the first game between BIC and the U cleans the plate. Like, they don't lose again. They will not lose in the second or third meetup, regardless of who wins the first one. Last year, the U won the first one. They ended up winning the next one. The year before, when the U won the first one, they ended up winning the next one. So based off of history, and that's why I don't think anyone should be offended, BIC is going to clean the U up because that's just how history says it goes. With the Watchmen versus the Nightcrawlers, first things first, I won't mention any team names. I just need y'all to understand the Nightcrawlers are the boogeymen. There's teams that duck, dipped, and dodged those boys something vicious. I won't say who. It's not my business who. I just wanted to be known that it happened. I listen. I don't. You know what? I don't know who. I don't know. I just know it happened. So the matchup for Watchmen and Nightcrawlers, I'm giving it.
Names.
I'm giving you know the vibes. I'm giving that matchup to
the people who you talk about.
I'm giving a matchup Nightcrawlers and Watchmen to the Nightcrawlers only because, again, the team that usually loses in the championship like the year before or that's on the hunt is usually one of the most threatening teams in the playoffs because they were this close. They had a morsel and they missed the opportunity. So they get hungrier and they fight even harder because they were that close. They almost got there and just couldn't get the job done. And so that's how
are we forgetting what happened after the game last year?
What happened after the game?
Man, you and I will touch base after this, bro.
Okay. Say that. I don't want to open no cases.
So Rob,
let's just say it's
Rob,
it's going to be a slobber knocker out on the field between the Watchmen and the Nightcrawlers.
Oh, you talking about that game? Yeah, no, that game might. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that game.
Okay, all right, Chris. Copy. No, nothing else. I am. Go ahead.
Rob, do you think if it ends up being the rematch of last year's Eastern Conference final between the Watchmen and the Nightcrawlers, will it be anything like the 60-52 score like it was last year, or you expect a different type of game between these two?
I expect a higher score from the Nightcrawlers. Honestly, like I expect the Nightcrawlers to score in abundance, and I don't think the Watchmen don't look the way I expect them to look. So I don't think they could beat the Nightcrawlers, honestly. So for me, coming out of the East, I got BIC and the Nightcrawlers coming out the East. There's no feelings involved. I don't hate anyone. It's just how I see it based off of the season we just watched. And coming out of the West, bro, Scott is right. The chaos, I went back and I watched the K and I said, damn, these guys look good. They look good. But do they look good enough to beat the Insomniacs are sick with it? No, I'm sorry. And you know, I have to now respect Sick with it because they just beat the defending champs. Sick with it is good. Corey's been saying it for weeks. I don't listen to Corey much. That's my guy, but I don't really listen to Corey. But Corey's been right for the better part of 4 weeks. He's like, yo, Sick with it is good. You're gonna see. And I'm okay, I saw it. Sick with it is good. The only thing that kind of disappoints me in the Final Four matchup is I would have loved to see Insomniacs versus Nightcrawlers for the Final Four and BIC versus Sick.
Well, why not? Why would you not want to see BIC versus Insomniacs? Why
No,
would
no,
you
no,
not,
no. Knox, hold it there. I definitely want
why
to see
would
that.
you not want to
That's
see
why. No,
Trey
that's why I'm not
link up
upset.
with all his fellas back down there?
No,
You
no.
feel me?
Listen, because how I looked at it is there's 2 championships I want to see. 2 championships I want to see, but I
Okay.
didn't think were possible up until they did what they did with the playoff setup. So there's a potential. I wanted to see a BIC versus Insomniac matchup, right? For the chip, because I was like, wait, Insomniacs just won the last one. BIC won the one. We lost someone, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
lost.
he'll
Okay.
be back.
Okay.
He'll be
Okay. So I'm looking at BIC was the champions right before that. Insomniacs are the defending champs. That would have been cool. But then I was like, damn, a BIC versus Nightcrawler championship would be nuts. And then I just didn't think it was possible. So I just, I took it out of my brain. But with the way this is set up, I actually get all the games I want to see. Yeah, it's very possible. I get to see a BIC versus Insomniacs. And then the winner of that game, I get to see, Sick versus Nightcrawlers. And again, with Sick, the thing with Sick is I'm not a huge Sick fan. In not in a negative way, but I just don't watch them too much. But I really like Insomniacs and the Force. So I'm like, the Force are kind of out of it. No disrespect to them. It's the big dogs playing now. It's playoffs, man. Like it's time to not sugarcoat feelings. You guys know how it is. Like when it's playoffs, it's playoffs. It's the monsters talking now. Now it's you lose, you go home.
You need to go back from game 1 of this season
Mhm.
and watch Sick play.
No, I do. Chris, you're 100% correct. I do. I need to go watch Sick because again, I was watching the game because that was a great. Oh, holy hell, that was a great game. Great calling, by the way, fellas. That was amazing. I'm watching the game, and at one point I turn it off because Insomniacs are losing. I'm like, oh, they do this all the time. This ain't nothing. I'll be back in like 5 minutes, and Insomniacs will be up. When I came back, they were losing more. And I said, oh shit, okay, this might be the one that we were warning them about, and it ended up being that way. So that's why I keep, like, again, it's no disrespect to the Chaos. It's no disrespect to the U. This is football. Upsets happen. This is what happens. Like, we can be analysts all we want, but we can't predict the future. Do you understand? Analysts are giving you something based off of what they've seen, numbers, statistics, certain plays, but you can't predict a Bunak blessing. Can you? Can you predict Q getting 2 interceptions back-to-back against the best offense in the league at the time? You can't predict that. Everything else was predictable, but not what Q did. And that's what we love about this sport. You feel me? So when people will be like, oh, Rob, you were wrong about everything. I'm like, no, bro, you got to remember there's a level of randomness in football that you cannot predict. You'll never know. What happens if Scotty throws for 400 yards against BIC and blows the door off of them? Can't predict that. That can happen, though. Anything can happen. No matter how prepared you think you are. BIC could lose to the U in the playoffs in that Elite 8 setup. They could lose. But based off of history, they don't. So if you asking me,
well, that's why they call it Any Given Sunday, man.
Any Given Sunday, exactly. So again, I'm excited to see BIC versus Insomniacs. And there's no disrespect to Chaos. I think they've improved a great deal. I think they look good. But
can I ask you a question, Big Rob?
Go ahead.
Do you think this is the best football, like the best Final Four setup you've seen from A7?
If it's mixed, if it's crossplay like I'm hoping it is, yes. I haven't experienced.
I think the way our hypothetical is set up,
mm-hmm.
I think those games are going to be so like action packed, so live. Like,
for sure,
every little mistake is gonna count.
Every
little thing is. Everything matters at that point. Like what you ate 3 days ago is gonna matter. If you took a shit yesterday and didn't wipe right, that shit is gonna matter.
Facts.
It's gonna be bad.
I'll tell you because
everything's gonna matter.
The teams that are playing.
If you didn't break your cleats in, it's gonna be fucking wild.
Yeah, and how this plays out. So normally I'd say you better get your popcorn ready.
Right.
During these games, and how you can be under a microscope for your mistakes. all I can say is every team better eat their damn lunch and bring one with them because ain't nobody laying down. You're gonna get smacked in the mouth, and you better bring it with another smack because if not,
Right.
you're gonna get down. These teams are for real. And when you talk about and I watched a little bit of the chaos against the Heist, and the Heist last year weren't the team they are this year. Chaos last year, the team they are this year. So I ain't got nothing against either team.
At all.
What I'll say is I agree with you. I think that Chaos got better than they were last year, but I don't think they're up to the clip of what we're talking about right now.
No, there's no shame in saying that. There's no shame in saying that. I'm with you 100%. And again, that's not, I know, again, we know they get sensitive. I just don't give a shit if they get sensitive. It just is what it is. If you don't agree and you're on the Chaos, then beat whoever's in front of you and get to that Final Four to shut me up. I always say that. I'm like, yo, shut me up. That's cool. I don't got no problem with it. Then Insomniac shut me up in the chip.
I was finna say, for me, it's like you said, you would want to see the Nightcrawlers, of course, play Insomniacs again, right? And let's just say BIC go head to head with SIG. For me, I would say for ratings and for the football that we have been having, you don't necessarily want to put two teams that have already played against each other. You feel me? You would want to see, at least I would want to see Nightcrawlers versus SIG because Insomniacs have already faced that, let's just say, offense and defense. You know what I mean? So with the let's just say with the cross play happening, you would want to see if the number 2 team, right, as of a few seasons ago, see if they're able to withhold and stand their ground when it came down to playing the same team that the Insomniacs played, and then you see who leads up to the final 2. You feel me? Because again, I don't want to see a rematch of some shit. Me personally, I don't want to see that shit. Yes, it was
honestly, it would make the rematch more interesting too.
If they both were able to beat, let's just say, who was ever in front of them, and then they play again. Now I'm like, okay, now you got me fucking locked in.
I wouldn't mind.
Okay, it is kind of weird that they would meet in the championship as representatives of different divisions one year, and then they would have to play each other to get into the championship the next year.
You know, here's the thing, right? And this is one of the things I was like complaining about for the last couple of weeks. When we first started the league, right? But when A7 started getting Baltimore and Pennsylvania, like when we had, way more places involved in a tighter area that they can all meet at, bro, there's some experiences we had that I'm trying to like reach for on a grander scale, where I was begging for an Elite 8 where it's East versus West, so we can really showcase these teams, like the top. That's what I was begging for when I was like in the chat a couple weeks ago. But that isn't possible due to Knoccz. What's going on.
But
that's not possible.
We gotta call a spade a spade. Right?
There it is.
We're gonna say because it's financial, and
financial
is one of those where the West doesn't necessarily have 4 legit ass teams to be able to compete. You feel me?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, and that's why I said let's just take the 2, 2, and 2.
Right, but I was making the mistake. I was making the mistake in calling Ohio a West team. That was my mistake. So when I kept saying West, because it's all West to where I'm at. So to me, when I kept saying West, I was saying, give me Chaos Heist, Sick Insomniacs, one from Baltimore, one from Florida, Watchmen and Nightcrawlers. Give me 2 from Jersey. Elite 8, boom, best teams in the league, no questions. That's the best 8 teams in the league. Let's make it happen. That's how I was looking at it. But again, financially, that wasn't possible. So they gave me the next best thing, which is the Final Four, and it's whittled down to the best, 4 teams, which I'm still fine with, because you still got to make it out a gauntlet to get to that Final Four spot. But I'm saying back in the day, and back in the day sounds crazy because I'm talking like 2015. Back then they would have like a playoff week where it was like PA versus Jersey and Baltimore. And there was one time Baltimore got swept, and we had brooms in the stands, and we were singing "Na na na na, hey hey hey, goodbye." Like that moment to me, like it lives on forever in my head because it was so special. And I'm just thinking about a moment like that in Bullhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter who it happens. So let's say the West sweeps the East, and you guys are waving the brooms. As upset, as salty as I would be as an East representative, that's a moment that no one's ever gonna forget. Like, you get what I'm getting at? Like,
yeah, no. Okay, so in the championship game, I haven't talked about this yet. Right, I remember this shit. I can see it like it's fucking 4K. It'll be ingrained in my mind for the rest of my life.
Right.
When we were in Bullhead, and when I'm not sure if it was a turnover or something, but the entire stands are chanting in Bagway's face, and he before he snaps the ball, he turns, face the stands, and he's just putting his fucking hand to his ear, putting his hand to his ear, and he flips him off, and he turns around and he snaps the ball. I will remember that moment,
forever.
and I don't even mean to fan out, you know what I mean,
fan out,
you know what I mean, until the season's over. But at the same time, that was honestly the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Chris,
catching a video, I just pulled up a video when Q caught the second interception, and literally he ran right up to me and started screaming in my face.
You guys we were all there. Insane. Do you know why I have such fond memories of Bullhead, bro? The intensity of being in that, bro. I'm watching the crowd go crazy, and then you have to watch as Bagway and them go back down, score a touchdown, and quiet the crowd, bro. Come on, bro. That championship. Literally one of it. I've been in several. That might be my favorite because I didn't get hurt. You feel me? I wasn't sore. I might have lost my voice a little bit, but man, God, you guys are all smiling thinking about that championship in Bullhead. It was great, and that personally, bro, I'm chasing those experiences, those feelings, regardless of whose team has to suffer for it. Because, bro, you're not gonna tell me you wasn't on the edge of your seat when you seen Logo go up with one hand and potentially intercept. Dude, that scoring drive for the Insomniacs. It was almost an interception.
You guys forget where I was standing when that happened?
Wow,
bro. I don't know how you didn't lose it.
Right there, literally 2 feet away from him when he did that.
Bro, how did you feel seeing that?
I was, dude. My stomach sank when he did that, and then I looked down, and his foot went out of bounds, and he still came down with the ball. But what really made the pit of my stomach sink was when I saw him hit the ground, and I knew he was out.
Yeah, but think about how legendary that is to put your body on the line in such an intense, clutch moment. Now, bro, if he would have came down with that interception, there would be no debate that he's the greatest player in A7, right?
Hey, look, now that it's all done and said, and now that it's all said and done, I think it was a catch.
Me too.
I think it was a catch. I was standing directly across the field.
I don't know if Logo will tell you.
Hey, you're not finna convince Chris. Tell him, Chris, that wasn't no fucking catch.
That was not a catch.
I thought it was a catch.
His foot was so. As we talk about, Scott, as we say, the hash marks is out of bounds. The front side of the hash marks are out of bounds, right, facing up from the sideline. He was completely on the hash marks when he came down with it. It was not even close. You could ask.
Now that makes sense because I was looking from across the field, so it looked like a good catch. He definitely caught it, but he was just out of bounds.
No, it was close. His foot came down out of bounds as he was trying to keep his balance, and then he went head first into the ground. And I was like, "Damn, just get up, bro. Just get up. Be okay." He was out.
And then he got up.
Shit I've ever seen,
bro. And then the thing is, he did get up, and then when I spoke to the man, he doesn't even remember the last bit of the game. He doesn't even remember. So it's like, again, being there for that moment, bro. I'm chasing those moments, and I know which games will give us those moments. I know a rematch from the Insomniacs and Nightcrawlers to give it that. give us that. BIC Insomniacs would give us that. Nightcrawlers, BIC would give us that. Sick With It, the U would give us that. There's certain teams that I know would give us that. You get what I'm getting at? So that's what I was always shooting for. But again, we'll get there one day. But I'm okay with the way the Final Four is set up.
Let me say this real quick, and I mean this from the top to the bottom, man. Logo Davis and all the Nightcrawlers. I have not seen such a class act from a bunch of players.
Good dudes.
After
Good dudes.
the championship game. I mean, these dudes, Bagway, Logo, they were out on the field watching what was going on. I spoke to both of them after the game, and I'm telling you, man, they're the class act of the league. The way they presented themselves, the way they held themselves up, the way they held their heads high after that championship game, it was impressive, and I'm still impressed by both them young men.
Yeah, shouts to them for real. That really was impressive. But again,
by the
that's
way,
how
Mr.
that's
Fabian,
how
Mr. Ryan said check your
what's
text.
going on. I did.
Mr. Ryan said, okay, all right. Just want to make sure you did. All right, continue.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, that was really my stick, just to give you guys what's going on the East Coast side of things. Our playoffs start June 2nd, though. I think our playoffs start a little earlier. That's the only difference. It just starts a little earlier.
Hey, we did see a question earlier. There's two things I want to mention from the chat that we saw earlier. We kind of didn't really mention. I do agree with a couple of y'all's points that the championship points are going to matter. Those extra points are going to kick people in the ass. The lack of not having a Knoccz on the field and the ability to throw the ball deep and high is going to really fuck people up. That 3-on-1, if you don't have a neutralizer, you're going to be fucked. You need to work on that. You need to be figuring out who can throw the ball like that. And then also, I seen somebody post something about somebody's walking in the playoffs with 3 wins. Is that Florida? Is that just because of lack of teams, or what's going on?
Lack of teams, and I think that's Trey said that. I think he was talking about Florida, but again, I don't think they see Florida until the championship.
And nobody can really, Florida, if we're honest, nobody can doubt that the Nightcrawlers are one of the best teams in the league.
No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Yeah. I think it's insane
So anytime you got Logo Davis playing at wide receiver position, Bagway playing quarterback, man, you always gonna be dangerous.
Say it again.
You got to shut down every game. Rob, real quick, if you could touch base for us, can you explain why the 2 games between Snow Tribe and the U and the Animals and the Watchmen are both postponed?
That almost looks like news to Rob too.
No, it's not news to me. I'm trying to. You're talking about this weekend, right?
Correct. Yes. Correct. Yes, sir.
I cannot tell you specifically word of mouth why they're postponed I know they're not postponed. I know they're not happening, but I can tell you it's because they're pointless. Like for me, I'd be like, there's no point of having those games. So that's probably what it is, but I don't know from the horse's mouth. Like the league hasn't come to me and told me why. So I couldn't tell you what they said, but in my opinion, those 2 games are 2 very pointless games. 2 very, very pointless games. Like they don't affect seeding. They don't affect anything. Like it's just a week. You know what I'm saying? It's not really an important game, like at all. In my opinion.
Oh, okay. Not only that, the Renegades and the Buzz are also postponed. So if we're looking at it, so there are no. So if I'm looking at this correctly, there are no games back east being played this Sunday. Is that correct?
No, sir, none at all. And again, for their specific reason,
and the Nightcrawlers in Florida. Okay,
that's it. As far as their specific reason, I couldn't tell you. But as far as what I can guess,
all right,
those games are pointless. And yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's on the slate for the 19th of May here is we do have the Nightcrawlers and the Ghost in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. We also got the Chaos going against the Volcanoes, the Heist against the Octane. And, of course, we will preview the games here in Vegas. As, again, we're coming down towards the season finale. And, of course, it's playoff time. So, Big Rob, from the east side, if there's a dangerous playoff team that could be scary good, would you still say that is the current defending champions from the east, the Nightcrawlers?
Wait, that would scare me?
I'm saying, as far as the teams back east, are you still saying that the Nightcrawlers is the dangerous team that has a lot of venom spewing at the mouth to get back on the field?
Yeah. And then that's based again off of the history of this league. Like the team that's always in the hunt or just lost the championship, like they're foaming at the mouth, like they were just there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like we said, well, the Insomniacs were kind of being a little lackadaisical because they just won. So the opposite thing happens to the team that lost. They get more intense and more focused because they know what went wrong. And even if you guys go back and watch the championship, I mean, it's 5 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter, and the Nightcrawlers are up by like 9 points. So and then it's what somebody said in the chat. Like, can we be honest? The Nightcrawlers scored maybe 1 championship point. They left like 6, 7 points on the table. I think at a maximum of 8 points on the table that they could have got if they converted those championship points, which is in a retrospect, like hindsight, those championship points killed the Nightcrawlers, respectfully. They scored easily, but when it came down to get those quick 1 or 2s, they couldn't convert. And those points ended up giving the Insomniacs all the cushion in the world to come back and win that game. So as far the Nightcrawlers are scary.
Hence the margin of victory was 4 points.
Yeah. So yes, the Nightcrawlers are very scary right now, but they're not scared. I don't want to say this because I gotta be careful with things like this because nobody said that. As far as fear goes, I just think the only team the Nightcrawlers wouldn't play right now is BIC. They would rather see BIC in the championship. I don't think the Insomniacs are afraid of anyone. I think Sick With It finally beating Big Brother. They're not afraid of anyone. BIC is not afraid of, and that's why it's very easy for me to put those 4 teams in the Final Four because I know for a fact they're not ducking, dodging, or afraid of anyone. Those 4 teams specifically. I can't speak for any other team in the league at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us, the boss is in the house. Mr. Derek Duncan decides to pop in and say hi. So hello, Mr. Duncan. How are you, sir?
Make sure to take yourself off mute there, big bro.
Yeah, the producer didn't tell me I was coming on. I forgot. Sorry. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Oh,
and now he just went black.
Wow.
Live TV, folks. Anything can happen.
Black his whole life. He been black.
Yeah, right. He lost me there. Derek's been black.
I said black. I said black screen. He went black as in the screen went black. Good grief.
Oh.
Got to be more specific.
Can you hear me?
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, now we lost.
And he leaves. All right. Now we lost him. Anyhow,
back.
brother had a question for the panel. So here's his question. He says, football question: is it smarter just to go for 2? Well, as we say on our broadcast, the Scott McCorkle rule, which is what?
Go for 2.
Go for 2.
Put it in the butt.
You see Rob's face as soon as you said that.
Oh, my bad.
I don't know. I feel like, I think it's situational. You know what I'm saying? Like, first score of the game, I'm going for 1. Make sure you get it. You know what I'm saying? Just put you 7-0 or whatever it is. I'd go for 1, and then in the latter parts, I'd go for 2.
All right. So we're gonna bring Derek Duncan back on.
It is funny.
All right, D. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead with what?
He is back.
Yeah.
You were trying to make a point. You were going to say something. So the floor is yours.
I wasn't trying to make a point.
Welcome
I was
back.
going on the show. Thank you.
Okay, well,
He said hi.
welcome
But,
to the show, sir.
Well, let me just say, me being on is pointless. I wasn't trying to make a point. I was just trying to find some
Okay, well,
here
to
play along.
to quote one Cody Rhodes, what do you want to talk about?
Well, to quote a very good song that I cannot remember who said it, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Drake said that.
Copy
So,
that.
gosh,
Copy that.
I guess the one thing that I've been doing is actually breaking down the Insomniac Sick With It game and kind of getting a real good understanding of, from analyst standpoint, what went wrong and what went right for both sides, and why Sick With It was able to pull this one out when the games kind of seemed to go the same path that they had every other time, with Insomniacs eventually coming back to pull it out, but they did not this time.
3 mistakes.
Oh, it was way more than that. What? So you guys already broke this down?
No.
I'm just saying, when I think about it, I could think of 3 major mistakes that
I want to hear that.
had.
Well, before y'all get into the meat and potatoes of that, I can tell you the mistake they made out the gate is they won the championship and didn't take anybody serious. They've been playing with their food since they got back, and we've been saying it. I've talked to several Insomniacs players, and there's a lackadaisical nature about how they approach this season. This is the curse of winning a championship in this league. That's why we respect back-to-back championships so much, because it is very difficult to win it once, spin the block, and win it again. And when you do it, that's why the U is held in such high regard, regardless of what happens. You see what happened to BIC. They won it. Then the next year, everybody wanted to do this and do that and go have fun and go on vacation. Nobody took it as serious. That's kind of what happened to the Insomniacs. And every team there's teams that won the championship and disappeared. They no longer exist. You guys don't know them. They don't exist.
The Immortals, right?
The Immortals, the Chiefs, there's a few of them. They don't exist anymore. So it's like the championship in this league is this is not flag where everyone's a champion in Skamoog, and half the people have little flag rings and stuff. This is a league where it's very difficult to win the chip. So when you do, coming back to try to do it again is not the most fun thing in the world. Like, it's not. It's really not.
Would you say that the loss to Sick might have woken up the Insomniacs?
The loss to Sick was the most perfect loss they could have gotten. It's perfect because it happened right before playoffs. All it did was move them from 1 to 2. Whoop-de-doo. Oh my God, they're so bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not the end of the world, and it woke them up right there. Now you have to deal with an Insomniacs team that knows they can bleed. I wouldn't want to face that early in the playoffs. That's kind of scary. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty scary. So again, it happened when it should have happened. And to the team it should have happened against. And as long as Sick With It can keep their record clean, you leave with them two being 1 and 2. Sick 1, Insomniacs 2.
And before we move on, I want to start a new rumor. Me and Scott McCorkle are the same person. We'll never be seen in the same place at the same time.
Nice.
Well, proof's on the screen. Scott's gone. Derek's here.
I'm Scott. I just put on a wig and colored my hair.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say colored your skin.
Wow.
What?
Wonder Twin Powers activate.
What's good, Knoccz?
What's good with it?
No, we didn't have a game last week. I feel strange not talking to you every day.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I'll call you today just for the fuck of it.
All right.
One question before I get out of here and let y'all handle your handles. Where were you for the potential? Where were you standing for the potential interception? Again, these calls, I'm not saying any of these calls should have been overturned. I think they were just too close. And no matter what call those referees made.
On the sideline, standing in the end zone.
No, the other interception.
What other?
He already said it was out
It
of
was.
He said it was out of bounds.
No, not the one hand. And I think in that same drive, about a minute 30. You know what I'm talking about?
The Danye Lions potential interception, then catch, then interception, then no catch.
The one?
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, so Nightcrawler's player goes up, snags the ball in the air. Danye reaches up, pulls it out of his hand, hits his chest.
No,
Just
wait.
pulls it out of his hand and hits the ground. That one.
Yeah, that one is insane. Yo, wait,
that one I was standing at the end zone line, watching the play happen.
Do you understand how amazing of a game that was? Like, I'm sorry to geek out about the championship. I'm sorry, but these are the moments that I'm talking about, bro. Scott threw a bomb. I didn't even think the dude could get there. It falls into his hands. Danye makes an amazing football play to just reach for it. It still even looked like it could have been an interception. A call like that for the refs over there, I'm not jealous of what they had to do with that call. Because that call could have went either way. Watching it right now on film, the way Danye doesn't have the ball at all when they're both on their backs, pause.
No.
The Nightcrawler player is rolling and the ball's in his chest while it's rolling. Then on the stand-up, he tosses it. Bro, you can't make this stuff up, bro. I don't know. That was a phenomenal game. I'm excited for the Final Four. I hope to see you guys in Ohio or wherever. I don't know where the chip is going to be. I don't know where the Final Four is going to be at. Hopefully I get to see all you awesome people over there. We can call the game together. We could be correspondent. I don't care what we do. As long as we're there watching some amazing A7 football, I'm down for it.
Are you going to be able to
By the way, Rob, all I can say is, and there's only 3 of us in this chat right now that knows about it. It was me, you, and Dub sitting up on Saturday night after the games that were played flag, and we sat there and told what we thought was going to happen in the championship game. And when it came down to it, you were right for the first half. I was right for the second half.
100%.
And there's no way in hell either one of us could sit there and say before that game that we were 100%.
Nope. Neither one. Shouts to Q for making me the wrongest man on the planet. Q did that. Q did that. That's poetic justice. I trash talk.
Like
Q.
I said, the
poetic justice.
You did.
What's that, Dub?
And the one thing I had was,
and it couldn't have been anyone else either.
I'm just saying the one thing I talked about was to both you guys. I said adversity. What's going to happen when adversity hits?
Yeah.
And then we saw what happened.
Yep.
Right.
Did.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better game. And like I said that night, the way it came out to be, the league won as a whole. It really did. I still feel that way. And I can understand why Rob said, "Dadgummit, can we have the game back at Bullhead?" Just because of the magnitude of that building.
Echo.
Given what happened, just the atmosphere was electric. I hope we can get that same thing in Ohio for the Final Four and the championship game in the Midwest in July.
But again, appreciate you guys for having me. I'll still be in here checking things out. You know what I'm saying? While y'all break down the sick Insomniac game, because that is an interesting game.
There's a lot to break down. Really, you have to watch that game. So I've watched it a couple of times this week. And with that one, you have to watch. You either have to go through and watch the game, watching positions, or you're going to have to stop, rewind, and figure out what happened during the play, because you can get locked in watching the line and not even see how a receiver got open, not even see a blown coverage, not even see how something like that happens. You can get locked in watching the DB battles and the wide receiver battles and not even see and somebody end up getting loose. That game is intense.
Yeah, I'm definitely about to start watching that game.
That it is.
All right, fellas. Thank you for having me again. I rock with it. y'all have
appreciate it, Big Rob.
Well, it's still daytime over there for y'all, man. It's nighttime for me. I'm going to sleep. Y'all take care.
Man. Hey, let's talk this weekend.
Oh, for sure. Let's do it.
All right, man.
All right.
Hey, don't go to sleep on an empty stomach. Make sure you eat some.
All right, that was that was multi-time champion in the A7FL, Big Rob Fabian, of course.
Brush your teeth when you're
part
done.
of the national broadcast team with Matt Ryan with Matt Ryan and Corey Hammond. But real quickly, it's prediction time as we're almost up against it. So Nightcrawlers against the Ghosts in St. Petersburg. What's your prediction?
Nightcrawlers versus
a little to a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, I'm just asking the question.
I'll say it again. When you got Logo and you got Bagway, come on, man. As long as both of them are at the game, and I see Logos on here watching, you gonna be at the game. Give me a yes, and give me a yes if Bagway is gonna be there, and game over. That's all I got to say.
Well, we have one prediction of a score. Mr. Gray says it's going to be 80-6 in favor of the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Nightcrawlers. Well, I will say Nightcrawlers by a mercy rule.
Definite.
All right. Any other predictions from anybody?
Yeah, let me say that.
Mercy rule, easy.
Whether Logo and Bagway are at the game or not, mercy rule. I'm not saying that to be funny.
Would you say
that's my prediction? The rest of the squad is so strong in comparison. It's hasn't been a fair fight all season, and they could play with one hand tied behind their back with the whole squad there and still win.
All right. Would you say? And Mr. Davis does agree with you, Mr. Duck. All right. Would you say the same thing for the Volcanoes and the Chaos in Cincinnati at Woodward Tech?
Volcanoes in an upset.
Oh, Jordan Davison might be back.
Right.
Oh shit.
Well, you know what's gonna happen now, brother. Gonna come on here and say something to Derek.
Don't get Knoccz started, because we'll have the second greatest segment in the history of the other side of the ball that took place when the X called in. Well, watch on YouTube, folks. It's
I don't know if she was
hilarious.
the X before the phone call, but she was after.
Oh. Did she change her name?
All right, we got the heist. We got the heist and the Octane in Indianapolis at Grand Park.
Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but has the Octane even won a game this season?
Yes, they have.
They have.
This is the game. This is the game I'm most excited about. That's actually being played this weekend. The Octane, when healthy, have a fun team. They could give the Heist a challenge for a couple quarters. I see the Heist winning by 3 or 4 touchdowns to finish it out. But if they're missing Diamond Price and their one dreadlock receiver dude they do everything back on both sides of the ball, then it's going to be a blowout. And I know Diamond was hurt, and that guy I can't remember his name. I think he wears number 5. Wasn't at a game or two before, so I'm not sure if he's an in and out guy or if he's hurt, if he was hurt, or what the situation is. But when they're both there, they're actually a halfway decent team. They don't stack up to the Chaos, but they stack up well to the Heist.
Very valid point.
Well, Earl Grey is very talented. Also, I like Earl. I also like Earl Grey on the Octane.
He's not
also
bad.
Like Chris Butler. Chris Butler is a
fantastic.
dynamic player.
If he doesn't teabag after his celly, that is a missed fucking marketing opportunity. What is wrong with you, sir?
Right.
If you don't just come on, man. Hey,
it needs to be his celly
on that.
Right.
Yeah, it needs to be the new celly. Come on.
He's going to get
I hope
punched.
you make highlights. I hope you make a highlight so you can do it.
And thank you, brother, for clarifying. Yes, James. Brother, thank you for clarifying. Yes, that is James Mitchell, number 5 on the Octane. Also a fantastic player to go along with Chris Butler. I like watching Chris Butler play. He is very dynamic for the Octane, and they have some very unique colors in their uniforms.
They just need a complete team, really.
Commenta brother said James Mitchell, Indy Octane best player. He did not confirm he was number 5.
But he is number 5. That is his number.
Okay. Thank you, Doug.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
No problem, sir. All right, and coming around the mountain down the stretch we come here in Vegas, our triple header for this upcoming Sunday in the somewhat season finale, even though we have some makeup games to do. But first game at 1 p.m., we have Sick with it, fresh off their win finally against the Insomniacs, taking on a motivated Pit Bosses team coming off a huge upset win against Over the Top 2 weeks ago. Definitely not the same Pit Bosses. I'm not going to say upset alert, but do we think the Pit Bosses might give Sick some competition?
Some competition, yes.
Damn.
But like I said in the Indie, Octane versus the Chaos versus the Heist, I think Pit Bosses might get a touchdown or two, but I'm predicting like 60-12, 60-13.
All right. There you go. Derek has Sick. I have Sick winning as well. I think they'll put up
I've got Sick winning in a blowout.
65. I think that's a nice round number.
Let me just say I want to be wrong. The Pit Bosses have a ton of talent, and Iquan, as a quarterback, is proving that he's not just a running quarterback. He's throwing some dimes, making some defenses make some choices. But let me just say that the line play is, although the Pit Bosses have some great linemen, they're not great all game and great across the board all game, and Sick is. So
but there we can say that with the season being over for a lot of the guys that were playing tackle, the Pit Bosses could have a lot of guys that they were missing even just these past couple of weeks.
And a lot of guys who are fresh who are trying to play both. Right? You got guys like Gaither, who was playing both games both days. You got guys like Wilkerson that were playing both games both days. Those guys aren't going to have that going on for the remainder of the season. So you can see different levels of competition, because you could see Wilkerson wasn't himself and was on the sideline getting worked the entire game, trying to get back to his normal form. But, he was banged up, and it played a part. That we get to our breakdown. That's one of the primary things I'm going to point to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that season is over.
Hello,
shit back in Cali.
Hello, Mighty Quinn, and our prayers and well wishes to you, good sir. Heal up, and we want to see you back out there on the field, Mr. Quinn. But good to see you chiming in. Hope all is well. All right.
Where's this thread stream that you're seeing? I'm not seeing the same thread stream you're seeing.
So you see up top left where it says private chat?
Oh, and it says comments. Ha! Ha!
It took me 2 episodes to figure that out, so you're good.
Ha!
I start clicking buttons on my laptop.
In the game of the week. God.
Yeah, don't want to look at your history.
You really don't want to look at the video.
Oh God.
That either.
Crush against the Explorers. This possibly could be a competitive game out there in Cincinnati. Who do you like between the Crush and the Explorers?
Don't know enough about either, but go ahead, D.
I'll say that is a very, if we're looking at the power divisions, that is a Renegades versus Snow Tribe or a Pit Bosses versus Gold type game. They both got talent, but they have not been able to put it together at any game. The Crush have shown signs of life in a couple games here and there when they're fully staffed and they can click on all cylinders, but you never know what you're going to get with either of those teams. Like, the Crush got a lot of talent. So I guess based on that, I'm going to pick the Crush, and I'll pick them by 2 touchdowns.
Hold on, I just got it. I'm going with the Octane. Oh, that's not one of them, is it? I'm going with the Crush. I just flipped the coin.
Oh, you flipped the coin. Brother says Crush by 2 TDs.
I've heard that
somewhere Crush by a touchdown.
Crush by 8.
8 points or 8 touchdowns?
All right.
8 points.
Okay.
Got to be specific.
All right. 4 p.m. time slot, the game of the week. It'll be a rematch between Over the Top and the Force. This is where the Force got their first win of the season and started to roll in their 3-game winning streak. Over the Top trying to get back on the winning track. Will this be a repeat of the first meeting between these two teams?
Wait, who is it? My bad.
Force versus
Force
OTT.
and OTT. Part 2.
Yeah, me personally, I'm done picking OTT, so I'm going with the Force.
The Force are irritated, and the OTT are building, but I don't think they're ready for a pissed off Force. Like it, I don't know. I agree with brother. If Dion decides to put his shoulder down, that's a problem. I love OTT. I got a lot of love for people that play for him. They have no cohesion. Just listen to them on the sidelines. Yeah. Even if they're winning, they're not getting along. There's no discussion about assignments or breaking down plays or reads or anything like that. They're just blaming each other. Like, you're fucking up. Man, come on, bro. That shit ain't gonna work. Like instead of going and telling somebody how they fucked up, why don't you say, hey man, look, I noticed that the lineman every time he picks his hand up, and it's if he has his forearm on his knee, then he's gonna end up dropping back into a pass coverage. But if he has his hand on his knee, then he's coming for you. So you need to swim him and get around him and plug that hole.
Or how about these receivers have never tried to catch a ball over the middle yet on this team? Why are you playing inside shade? Press coverage. Like, you should be back inside shade, and you can break on the ball maybe if they do decide to go inside, but give yourself some cushion so you can catch up when they try to take you over the top. Like, there's not a lot of
get to see this. To your point, it's ego. They're playing ego ball on losing teams. Why are you playing like that? Just so you could try and say like, oh, I jammed him. I go, play your position.
I'll put it this way.
You just said the key word.
I'm going to go with the Force for one simple fact. I'm going with the better cohesive team. Not saying they're the most talented, the better cohesive team.
I would think they have more talent too.
Well,
look, everybody says I'm on the Force nuts, but I understand how they're structured. I understand how those guys run. I will say that they are a little short at the wide receiver position this season, and they are a couple dynamic wide receivers away from being on the level of Sick and the Insomniacs, and that's what's missing from their team. They seem to have the rest of the talent. And Jeremiah Branch says, I'm back on defense as well off IR. So that almost guarantees them win as far as I'm concerned. That dude is a problem when he's healthy.
Yeah, he is.
On both sides of the ball.
And he was a factor. And
strong dude.
And he was a factor.
Smart.
And he was a big factor in the first meeting against them. Him, Sewell, Flowers, and Fleming were just monsters on the defensive side of the ball that gave OTT fits in the first time they played each other. So I kind of expect the same thing.
On the line to stop them.
And, I'd give him a lot more love if he'd just bring me the ribs he talked about doing for me. I'd give him a lot more love. Just saying.
Scott,
everybody wants the ribs.
The answer to your question, Scott, is anyone with the last name Ramsey?
Yeah, but granted, there is 5 of them, and
right.
then. But also at the same time, like,
I thought there were 6.
Cerrone just stepped in, right? Every time he gets in at tight end, he does something with the ball, but they refuse to put him in at tight end.
Right.
They'll use him 2 or 3 times. Like he's down the block. He'll do whatever. They're not using guys at their position that they would be good at. They're looking at somebody and trying to throw them into what position they look like they would be good at. I don't think you're wrong. I think the Ramseys, if you took any 2 random Ramseys and stuck them on the line, they'd be better than whoever's been blocking for them recently. And it's unfortunate. Like put the tall good looking dude down at tight end and fucking let him like throw the ball 2-3 yards every play. You have a bunch of dogs on your team. Throw the ball short. Let them fight for a couple of yards. If you get 4 yards every play. Every 3 yards, you got a first down. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah, but have you ever seen them actually try to do that? It's
nope.
Oh, not we only got 2 yards. We better go for a touchdown. Oh, we didn't get it that time. We better do it again. Right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like,
I
would throw Savion on the screen every play and just say stop it.
Right.
Throw him a screen every play, bubble screens, quick screens, all kinds of screens. Just a different screen to save you on every play until the shit cracks. It's gonna crack.
Or don't use him on offense at all, and make sure that he returns on every
single throw off. Yeah,
like that's I mean, they do have some other good returners.
Crown's a great athlete.
Right.
Savion's different.
He's just different.
He's special. Very special.
But I mean,
I don't think.
So hey,
you got to be
go
better
on
playing situational football, and I think
they don't have a center that's going to stop Sewell.
And before we go on, Jeremiah Branch asked a very good question that I'd like to know the answer to too. He said, "Who is this guy, brother?"
We don't know.
Plays in Ohio, I believe. I think he plays.
Yeah, I think he's from back east for sure because of the way he's been talking about.
He's always been been on my helmet about not giving Ohio a good look. Which I went back and watched some of Chaos film. They look really good this year against Florida, against Ohio.
Which, by the way, Scott, he did appreciate you for showing love to Ohio.
He talks some sense.
He did acknowledge you.
Oh
yeah, no,
he
does speak some sense, but I don't know who
the A7FL page says he's the ghost of Bronco Nagurski, so that clears it up
perfectly.
Thank you.
And he calls himself
Thank you,
brother.
John. Thank you, John Facenda from the A7FL
Clear
page.
blood now.
The ghost of
who
Bronco
was who was the writer who picked Bronco, who used Bronco Nagurski's name in virtually every book he ever wrote? Was it Dean Koontz?
It might have been.
I think it was Dean Koontz.
That's a good research question. But I mean, Bronco Nagurski, if there ever was a football name, there was Bronco Nagurski. And in the nightcap, we should just give the eulogy now. It's Gold and the Insomniacs.
Golden upset.
The only question. Drop the mic.
Hey,
that's the nightcap? Man,
that is the nightcap.
We do have something we can talk about, though. Word on the street is that the Kryptonite players and coaches will not be with the Gold this season or this game, and they are going back to their original format.
The Gold arm?
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's word on the street. Look, what happens in these chats and what happens, I never know exactly what it's going to be until they hit the field. So, look, I don't put a lot of I don't bank on it.
Bro,
all right,
it might be an early night.
It might be
an extra early night. No, like is that a Fox televised game?
Yes. Oh wait, I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah, Derek, I set some shit up now. Set some shit up now. I'm not even trying to be mean. Like I fuck with Jeremiah. I like players from the Gold. I'm not saying nothing against y'all. Y'all have to understand. Y'all playing the Insomniacs after they just took their first L against Sick. They're going to try to hurt every single one of you. I'm not joking with you. I'm not playing with you. I'm talking to you for your personal safety. They're going to try to fucking hurt you.
I wouldn't know that.
This isn't a game. Like it's, man. I'm trying. Okay. I tried.
All right. So I got to reach out. I'm glad you mentioned something because our Fox schedule had the 11 o'clock game, which isn't happening, and the 1 o'clock game only. So I believe it's just going to be the 1 o'clock game.
Interesting.
Maybe A7FL has already heard that and can tell us.
I asked a good question. Damn.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm not saying hurt by playing dirty. What I'm saying is they're going to hit you with the hardest shots they have. A couple of them might play dirty.
Well, Scotty, not to just mention that. Well, Scotty, not just mention a loss. This is the Insomniacs' first loss from the national season since May the 7th of 2022. So almost 2 calendar years in the national season since the Insomniacs lost an A7FL national season football game. So that they, as Mike Kruko said, the Insomniacs might be laying out some shaft on the Gold this upcoming Sunday in the nightcap under the lights at Matter Academy.
Did you say laying down some shaft?
Howbeit, yes, like I said, Mike Kruko, who announces Giants games, has been saying that for 30 plus years in regard.
Oh man,
has been saying that for 30 plus years. So
this is for the San Francisco
SmackDown. The SmackDown still are
the pipe down
is going to be
laying the pipe down.
I'm gonna say I mean this exactly how it
sounds. 2 blue, 2 and a 4 loco. You better bite down.
I'm gonna say I mean this exactly how it sounds. And I'm not used to Dub saying, hearing Dub have shaft come out of his mouth.
You're used to seeing it go in his mouth.
Damn.
Hey Dub, before we move on, are you on the Wi-Fi I gave you, or is you still on your McDonald's one?
He's mad at me. I'm sorry. I was just joking.
Is he frozen?
Well,
I thought he was actually mad. I was like, God damn.
Answer your question.
And there it goes.
And there,
you shouldn't have asked him shit.
God damn.
That motherfucker that left and came back.
oh my
Yeah, he was like, no.
Left and came back.
Yeah, McDonald's just changed the password.
Change the oil fryer.
He didn't download the cookies.
Right. Pause. Hey, Dub. I don't think you heard the question. Are you on the Wi-Fi, the T-Mobile Wi-Fi hotspot, or are you on your original setup?
Just say 15.
It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It does not matter what I'm on, because the way of the trajectory of my building is, I cannot get no signal regardless.
Okay, but can you answer the question?
Hotspot?
Maybe.
No hotspot?
I'm using both, but again, I need to get a Wi-Fi extender. That's what I need to get.
If you have no signal in your house, an extender won't work.
Yeah, because they tried that with me for Verizon, because I don't have a signal from Verizon in my house. It doesn't work.
Yeah, we need to hook up so I can actually set you up right. So when do you want to get together so I can check out your setup and get you locked in?
If you need any wire ran, I know a guy.
Right?
Probably Monday.
I got a business idea I want to talk to you about, Derek. I need some advice.
Okay.
And it's using that eating shit we were talking about.
Just go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor for what? I have enough painkillers. I mean, wait. Shit.
You got ointment too?
Damn, Dub. God, little darling's got better Wi-Fi than that. Shit. Not that I know.
All right. So,
not that my phone logs in automatically when I walk in.
Right. As you drive by, you get pinged. Like,
shit, man.
Welcome, Scott. Your table's ready. I'm just driving.
Yeah.
Screen name: Eating Ass.
I like to sit. I like to sit at the rail. I'm a real pervert.
That was my spot back in the day.
Yeah. Rails in the
Oh,
bathroom.
for a minute there, I thought you were going to say that was your screen name back in the day. Eating Ass.
Back in the day.
Right.
You mean Saturday?
Yeah.
Because I did that then too.
Oh,
ain't no back in the day now.
There's only one Scott McCorkle.
I'll swallow the whole damn
Hey
bottle.
man, look. It is what it is, bro. I like dark women, and I got real.
So,
light
with
equipment,
that
so I had
said,
to learn some tricks.
please join us this upcoming Sunday at Matter Academy. If you can't join us at Matter Academy, please join us on Fox 5.2, Cox Channel 125, CSN, Twitch, HBCU Plus, and of course, Caffeine and A7FL.TV for Week 7 of the A7FL.
I guess one of us has to keep this train from going off the tracks.
Yeah, and to confirm, we don't know. It looks like at least the 1 o'clock game will be on Fox. It doesn't appear that the other two will. But the 4 o'clock game will be game. 1 o'clock game is Pit Bosses and Sick.
That would be Sick and the Pit Bosses.
Yeah. And then 4 o'clock, Force versus OTT will be game of the week. And then Gold and Insomniacs will be late night game of the week. I think the Caffeine still carries. They take both our 4 and 7 o'clock game now, no matter what we're doing. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you, Caffeine. And Little John.
All right, so can we get into the breakdown and analysis of this game? I mean, we're at the 7 o'clock hour.
We're good.
You guys are here. I wanted to chop it up with.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
With the guys who are here to discuss it, because there's a lot that we talked about. And Chris mentioned 3 things that didn't go well, 3 mistakes the Insomniacs made. I wanted to hear what those were and add those into the mix, Chris.
3 majors.
Yeah, what do you got?
Outside of fumbles?
Well, the 2 fumbles, I'm putting it together as one.
Okay.
The 3-on-1 that they let go for a touchdown that we're not used to seeing with it from them. And then the other one was a very large breakdown in coverage with I think it was Lavish that basically stayed in like a blocker, snuck out around the right corner of the left corner of the offense for that easy touchdown in the flats. Those were the 3 major plays that I saw that were really heavy contributors to them losing that game, because almost all 3 of those plays went for touchdowns or had points taken put on the board for Sick because of it.
Yeah, and for me, the overall goes deeper than that. So I think Lugo on the line added with Josiah Sal was probably the biggest change up for them on offense and defense. Lugo was a problem. He all but neutralized AJ, and the Insomniacs didn't switch up their run defense or their blitz scheme or their rush scheme at all to support AJ. And AJ bull rushing a man twice his size who has good feet is going to be a bad combination all day long.
AJ has a hurt shoulder right now.
Right.
But I don't like to make mistakes. I don't like to make excuses for people. If you're going to play in the game, you should be able to compete at least some part of your potential. You know what I mean? Having rush Lugo, having one move isn't going to work. It'll never work.
Right.
It's not like he's smart. He's got the length, and he's got the size to where you're not just going to push him over. So his feet are better than most of the heavier set guys. His hands are better than most of the smaller guys. And he's stronger than any of the tall guys. So it's a problem we haven't seen out here necessarily. And I think a lot of our linemen have gotten away without having to use any hand fighting. And it's something you see Sayao use a lot. It's something you see a couple of the bigger guys and the more experienced guys use. But it's a conversation I've had on the sidelines with plenty of guys. And I feel like the second they get in, you can tell who does drills and who doesn't, because instincts start to override whatever advice you get. Like, instincts will always override advice. That's why you have to practice the advice to turn it into an instinct. You want to take your response and turn it into a reaction. And if you don't drill this hand fighting, you end up ego rushing against somebody who's taller than you, has better leverage than you, and is literally just going to push you out and around and create a big old hole to run behind because you think you're going to get after the quarterback because he's letting you run fast. He doesn't get in front of you and stop you. That's not Lugo's job. He runs you off.
Right.
You're tired. You feel like you're getting somewhere. You feel like you're getting to Jerry. You do.
Right.
You just don't get there.
Right.
And it's like I make a comparison. If anybody who plays flag out here in Vegas, Eddie blocks the same way. Ice blocks the same way.
Where he just rides the guy past the quarterback or pushes him into the. Yep. So
you could be as strong as you want to.
Right.
You could be as strong as a bull. And he used to laugh at me because
right.
I'll grab him and pick him up halfway off his feet and I'll start running with him like I'm hitting a sled. And he's just laughing like, you didn't get a sack.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you need a spin move. You
Knoccz
need
does the same shit. Knoccz has this block where he will turn around opposite from you and meet you where you think you're going. And he just gives you a little bump. Quarterback steps up, maybe a half a yard, one quick little step. And you let out all that energy. He took 4 steps and you got a bump and you're gone.
Yeah, and I understand
he was riding him right out the play.
And I understand that rush scheme if you have a running quarterback and you're afraid that he's going to step up in the pocket and take off and you need to keep outside contained. But that's not JG's game. They should against a team like Sick, they could and should be collapsing the pocket and not taking the rush upfield.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some stunts, some rushes to the inside, not the outside shoulder every time. Bull rushes just weren't getting there. There was the time that he did get there when the play broke down and JG didn't have a guy open long enough and he got to him. It was a good hit. But for the most part, AJ is going to be AJ and he's going to get to the quarterback every now and then, but he wasn't there on every play making his impact felt. And that was a big reason why Sick could operate as efficiently as they could on that side of the ball. And the other big mistake for me was I think Insomniacs got into the mindset, us all talk them into the mindset of needing to start fast and needing to score fast also was the translation for starting fast. So they didn't use their recipe for success, which is running the ball and grinding, not grinding the clock, but grinding the line and getting Lugo, who's playing both ways, tired. So when you do get to 4th down and you need to get a stop on 4th and 3 and 4th and 6, that defender is not in the game and able to be as effective because you've been running at his side all day and knocking him down and pushing him down. So he's tired. I mean, if you look at the Insomniacs drive, almost all of them were 3 plays or less, and half of them 1 play. So the defense didn't get to their defense didn't get to rest, and 6 offense was always rested, or their defense was always rested because they were scoring so fast. So those are the 2 big things for me. And I mean, I honestly don't think. And the third was McWillie not being able to play and not having the defensive rotation that they normally have. I want to mention again, Jeremy Rivas might be the best new player in the Vegas division that doesn't get the props that I think he deserves. That dude is a problem, and I cannot wait to see him fly around in these competitive games and see how he affects the games. He was an absolute joy to watch all game long. He's one of my favorite new players, so I'm excited to see what he did. But not having that defensive rush rotation
definitely is really sideline to sideline. Absolutely. He is sideline to sideline on every play.
He reminds me of Darius Davis for the Nightcrawlers. I'm not Darius. What's his name? Devontae Henderson for the Nightcrawlers.
I think he's a little faster. And
hey guys, I gotta step away from a second, baby.
Yep. I think Jeremy's a little faster. And I think he's a little quicker to the read. I'm not sure. I would have to watch more film on Henderson to see how he reads the game as a whole. But I know that Jeremy, and this isn't a disrespectful statement.
When I said
all
bigger,
I'm saying
I'm
is Jeremy
about,
struggles in drop.
Size, not height.
What's up? What happened?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. His drops, I see him struggle just a little bit. But when he's coming down, here, make that tackle, he's very decisive.
Nobody's better in the league coming downhill. Nobody comes downhill better than him.
No.
Him and Tone are the best downhill linebackers we got. Local Kid is another really good one, but we rarely see him. But as far as coming downhill, he comes downhill with the same attitude that Tone does, but with like an extra 90 pounds.
Yeah. Now I feel like somebody's looking over my shoulder. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I told you your head looks like a little dick between big nuts.
Right?
And trust me, I know.
Jealousy will get you nowhere.
I stopped being jealous a long time ago, man.
That's what they say.
I'm ugly and broke. I had to learn how to be funny.
So can we officially say that we will have the makeup games on Memorial Day weekend? Is that set in stone, Derek?
Well, you keep calling them makeup games. We have games on Memorial Day weekend. They're not making up games that weren't played. We missed the opportunity to play, and it's not the same matchups, so they're not really makeup games. It's our schedule got screwed as a result. We went down to 3 teams and changed, and everything changed 100%. So none of the matchups that we were going to have were the same matchups anyway. So they are
okay.
I guess makeup games in a sense that they're games that didn't get played to get some of the teams to 7 games, but they weren't the same games that these guys are going to play. They're actually both of them rematches.
Okay.
Because when you have a 6-week,
the main question is,
you have a 7-week schedule and only 6 teams, you end up with rematches.
But nonetheless, there will be action on Memorial Day weekend. So please come check us out on Memorial Day weekend.
So one last thing, I want to give Corey Hammond his props, even though he's been completely an asshole to the division sometimes when he's been on here. He
fucking rude.
He's hella supportive of us behind the scenes. He actually loves the Vegas division and gives us our props behind the scenes, and I appreciate the dude. I consider Corey a real friend, if I'm being honest.
I love him.
Yeah, me too. But he, of course, predicted the sick win. But I also think that it was his criticism of them in the fall championship that helped them devise some better gotta have it plays. And those 2 4th down plays for sick on the final drive is the reason they won that game. If neither one of those convert, Insomniacs, they were 1-2 play touchdowns every time. We are talking about a completely different outcome.
Yeah, because it's a toss up to Derek or to David.
Well, Derek would have got him a touchdown too.
Nope. Well, same thing. Same. There's some D down there somewhere.
We do know that Corey. No, we do know that Corey has been very high on JG and has been for a long, long time. And finally, JG showed some tremendous poise on those 2 4th down plays to trust his receivers to make the plays. And hence that led them to finally getting over that hurdle, which has been the Insomniacs. And now sick as well. The Insomniacs has championship aspirations of their own. But I mean, it definitely was a different side of JG this go round against the Insomniacs that we haven't seen in games past. And definitely his poise carried him through to finally get over that hurdle.
I'm trying some shit. Can you guys see my replay?
All right, here we go. We're going to add some film. Here we go. All right.
Maybe. There you go.
Where's the telestrator when you need it?
Wow.
Right?
The hell?
No, that's VIP and Subsidy Analyst.
I don't even know.
Looks like we got some other highlight stuff going on here right now.
Whoa.
There we go. Hang on.
All right. So Derek's looking for a particular play to look for here. So here we go.
So this was the AJ hit.
Moseying.
And could have been the turning point of the game if this actually got ruled a fumble. So the play finally breaks down. AJ gets loose. Looked like a fumble at first glance, and it wasn't.
Thought it was a fumble.
Yeah.
So you're saying the arm was coming forward?
Now play where Betts come. No, it was Murphy comes all the way across the field and picks up a 4th down. But this is This one's my favorite. Watch this screen setup and watch what the two guys. Oh, no, not this one. Sorry, it's the one after. This is where we think the Insomniacs might get a stop. 58 seconds left. Timeout gets called. 4th down. Sikwit goes for it. I'm going to go back real quick so we can kind of do this slowly. So here's a setup.
Trying out some new things.
You see Kurt here, and the two wide receivers that were lined up with him. Kurt actually goes in motion this direction. These guys push up field, and Kurtz comes back across. All they needed was 3 yards for this first down, and an easy throw and catch because the two guys clear out. There's your first down. Game over.
Wow.
Simple play.
And perfect design.
Great call.
And the exact opposite of what they did in the fall brawl, and why I'm giving Corey his props, because Corey called them out so many times about the play they tried to make when they had to have it and didn't get it. Mm-hmm. This was the response to that, if you ask me.
Well, that was a very well placed thrown ball by JG. He put it right on the money to where either Curtis was going to get it or the ball was going to sail out of bounds. So perfect touch by JG on that pass, and just.
But nobody else was even in the area. The next defender was 5-6 yards away because they got blown off the ball on the screen. It was a perfectly designed play. No one accounts for Kurt. 2 players go with one receiver on the right side, and Kurt is standing there all by himself, only needs 3 yards. He could have walked into the end zone and smartly doesn't, because then they got to do a throw off and the clock stops and things can potentially start to get weird, and then they have an opportunity for a get back. So it was just smart football, respecting the game, beautiful stuff. And Mark Gray just popped in and didn't see us giving him his props.
Right, we just gave him all the props in the world. He just popped in. What's good with you?
MG, we just did a breakdown of your quarterback making a great play.
I had talked about it last national season about the foundation that Mark Gray was putting down, and about how he was building a team for the future. And he wasn't necessarily dead set on immediate success. And I saw like a trajectory on where the team was going. I'm glad to see it's actually coming together. I got to go back and find that clip so I don't look crazy now.
Yeah, that's actually Derek. And I don't know if you remember Steve, who used to play QB out in the flag league with us. That was his old plays. We used to run that play all the time.
Yeah,
I gotta go. I gotta go grab dinner out the oven real quick. I'm gonna check you guys later. Love you guys.
All right, Scotty.
Catch you later.
So, what'd you say, D?
There's
only chiropractor Steve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our go-to when it was 3rd down and short or 4th down and short. We'd always use that play.
Yeah, so let me say that first off, that little thing I just did with showing the game inside and us being able to show replays, that was badass, and I want us to do more of that. And I now realize we can use this software to do the Manning casting that we've been talking about and have the game be showing on this thing and have our faces on the side. Did you see how that all went off?
Yep. Sure did.
So one of the things that Big Rob and I have talked about is a rewatch of the championship game where him and I are the color commentators with someone else doing play-by-play, so we can really get into the good and the bad of the Vegas side and the Florida side, what went well, what went wrong, so I can show him from our perspective why Vegas won, and it wasn't just a Bunak blessing, that it was actually, a war of attrition that made it happen. And exactly what I pointed to with why the Insomniacs were not able to pull this last game out, because they didn't play Insomniac football the way, and grind and run the ball and dink and dunk and move the ball and wear these guys out. And Sikwit did. That was the difference for me.
Yep. Sick did their thing.
Well, the question was always, the question with Sikwit was, and I said this the week of the game, I said, if not now, when? And certainly them adding Diggs and them adding Lugo to help Big Sal in the offensive line certainly paid dividends. And I think it's clear to say that Lugo, addition to Sick might have been the biggest acquisition for Coach Mark and his team. It is definitely it's proven its merit so far this season.
You know what? And I need to apologize. Marcus Betts, I'm not a fan of how he gets down in the chat, but that dude deserves his motherfucking flowers. He was a beast that game.
He was a force. Yes, he was.
I don't think there's one ball that went his way that he did not come down with. Murphy as well. Both of them dudes really showed up. Darren Palmer is always Darren Palmer. I need to always give him his flowers, but he's
DP always DP.
Yeah, he's so consistent. You forget to. But I mean, there was one drive where Darren Palmer had 3 catches for 45 yards, and was just torching them, and then come back. I mean, Darren Palmer for Sick is Munchie for the Insomniacs. I mean, they
absolutely
across the board. And if I'm being honest, again, that is what I think the force is missing. Those 2 or 3, that they've got a possession receiver. They've got James St. Patrick. He is their Munchie, their DP type guy. He's going to get the ball. He's not going to beat anybody off the ball, but he's going to pick up and rarely drop a pass. But they don't have anybody to stretch the field to make him effective.
I think that's number 12.
Jaden Webb.
Yep. Webb's playing DB.
No, he was playing wide receiver for him last week.
Okay.
So if they can get him off of playing defense and playing both ways, I think that he can be that deep threat for them.
Real quick, Mark Gray went back and listened. He said, "There's a lot of additions y'all don't know yet. Definitely wasn't Corey. He's a good dude, but in my 20+ years playing ball on many levels, never listened to outside noise. The eyes tell you what you need to do."
He ain't lying.
Look, and I gave the props to Corey because I was listening to Corey, and of course Mark was able to figure out on his own. But to stand behind the point I made, that wasn't the play that was called in the championship.
Yeah.
But kudos to Mark for changing it up and coming up with that gotta have it play. 2 of them, because that play to Murphy before it on 4th down was even better. I mean, the execution was better. I can't believe that they were able to stay back there that long with the ball and let it fly and catch it that deep out so far. But it was just beautiful.
But there's also one guy we forgot to talk about because, yes, you talked about DP making plays and Curtis Jones making plays and Marcus Betts. But the game that Leonard Walker had, making some big catches, stretching the field, catching 2,
and
he was absolutely –
that head top.
He was huge.
Yeah. Back-to-back head tops, right? Oh, no, they left them open
Correct.
on the extra point.
Yes.
And Mark Gray is asking to get in on the live. I don't know if you sent him a link.
Oh, he wants to come on. He wants to come on. Okay, well, stand by, Coach Mark. Hold on.
Yeah, and I might let you guys go ahead and take that one, not because of anything else, except now I'm getting yelled at by the wife. So,
say no more.
She got me dinner, so I gotta bounce. But I will see you guys on Sunday.
Thank you, Miss Tammy. Appreciate you taking care of our guy. Love you, brother.
And
we'll talk to you.
And speaking of Mr. Walker, he has now chimed in and given his hold on, I multitask because today it is a special momentous occasion because tonight we will be doing the 200th episode of the Muslim Dub Show. So it is an open forum show.
That's tonight?
That is tonight. After I get done doing this and get something to eat, we will come back. Mimas will come back live and celebrate episode number 200.
Well, look, if we're gonna get Mark in here, let's go ahead and do that because I'd love to hit his take on the game and see what he can actually talk about. You know, because he's got another. He can't give away all the secrets, I'm sure, because I broke down and analyzed and I said what they did wrong, and I know if other teams actually listen to this show, that they will understand what they need to do to have a shot against Sick, but. Those dudes ain't doing the homework that Sick what it is. Corey Hammond does. I don't know what Raymond wants to do.
Well, no, actually, Mark blasted me because while he was doing his film study, he was waiting for me and Mizzle to come on and do the recap show. And So there you have it. And he was actually coming on the show because we know Coach Mark does not do interviews, but he was gracious enough to come on and just break down what he saw with myself, Mizzle, and Knoccz 25 Live on the recap show, to which you can catch on the Mizzle and Dub Show YouTube channel every Sunday after the A7FL.
So I made the mistake of glancing in the chat. So Mark Gray, responding to my comments because he hasn't been able to get on, he says the championship, if you look at it, was a brain fart on multiple guys. That game has nothing to do with the play. We gave up ass, period.
There you have it.
I feel you, Mark. I was just talking about the one play that Corey keeps pounding on, and so I won't pound on any play. Look, you did the job. You adjusted. You came up with a great gotta have it plays that were flawlessly executed. You couldn't have done it any better, if you ask me. The guys on this go around did not have any brain farts, and it looked beautiful.
Not to mention, working on guests that want to come on the 200th episode that is coming on tonight. So just all over the place.
All right, well, let's do this then. Instead of getting Mark on this show, I know he's a fan of the Mizzle and Dub show. Why don't we go ahead and do our parting thoughts, sign off, and let you get prepped for that show, and you can promo for this one and leave some information for folks.
All right, well, even though I did send Coach Mark the link to this show, but nonetheless, of course, again, please join us at Matter Academy this upcoming Sunday for Pit Boss, the Sick With It, OTT in the Force, and the Insomniacs and the Gold, of course. A7FL.TV is where you can catch all the action live, and of course, locally on Fox 5.2 and Cox Channel 125. As we are coming down the home stretch, as we are coming down towards the playoffs, but also don't forget to check the 3-1 podcast with Matt, Rob, and Corey, and of course, the Mizzle and Dub show recap of the A7 every Sundays after the A7FL, of course. Stay tuned in a few moments.
What's the address for the Mizzle and Dub? Is it youtube.com/Mizzle, the ampersand sign dub?
Well, let me give you the actual. Well, there's no underscores on the YouTube channel. It's just Mizzle and Dub show on YouTube.
But how do you do the and? Is it A and D? Is it an N? Is it a and symbol?
It is. Hold on. If I can get to my actual own YouTube page.
I'm just trying to teach you how to promo, dog.
No, it is the Mizzle and A&D Dub Show.
Go ahead and throw that up.
There you go. So there's that's the website to chime in on the Mizzle and Dub Show. We will have plethora of guests to come on the show. It's a who's who. We will talk about the NFL schedule release being done today. Also, we will preview the unification of the heavyweight championship of the world this upcoming Saturday between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Of course, we'll continue to talk about the NBA playoffs as the Boston Celtics, for the third straight year, advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they will wait to see if they will be joined by the New York Knicks as the Knicks take on the Pacers tomorrow in Game 6 of their series. And, of course, recap Major League Baseball, and, of course, talk about our beloved teams' respective schedules on the upcoming season, as Mr. Catazzoli is happy that his beloved Leprechauns are back in the conference final, as he says, go Celtics. But special thanks to Big Rob Fabian for coming on and hanging out with us, and, of course, always good to see Mr. Duncan chiming in when he's not doing daddy duties and coming in and breaking down some film with the Madden Telestrator, or lack thereof.
That was fun.
Minus the pin. But nonetheless, thank you to everybody for chiming in on this 85th edition, as we are 15 away from the 100th episode of The Other Side of the Ball. But again, don't forget, please join us this upcoming Sunday at Matter Academy. But if you can't join us at Matter Academy, of course, join us as always on A7FL.TV. And of course, if you can't, always remember that this podcast is also wherever YouTube or whatever podcasts are sold. So if you have Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, The Other Side of the Ball is available wherever podcasts are sold. But nonetheless,
Spotify is where you see dudes that look like Dub. Fly as an eagle. Spotify is where you get the normal podcast. Spotify is where Dub gets down.
No, that's more Scott than me. I hide in the weeds. Nonetheless, for Knoccz 25, for the Viking, Scott McCorkle, for Chris Vera, and of course for Derek Duncan, I am the Blaxican Ryu saying thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. Indeed, we will see you next week, and we will see you on the other side of the ball. Don't forget, stay tuned. The 200th episode of the Mizzle and Dub Show is coming up momentarily. So,
what time you going on?
Gonna aim for 8:00, but no later than 8:30. But in the 8:00 time frame is when we'll go on the air. And
well, what users should do is go to the mizzleanddubshow.com link that I put up earlier and click subscribe and then click notify. So when you do go on, they get a notification that it's happening. And Dub's always really good about giving a 30-second countdown at least. So if you turn on that subscribe and notify button, then you'll make sure every time he goes on, you'll be notified.
Thank you for the plug. Greatly appreciate it.
Promo, dog. I got you.
You and Matt,
while you're at it, subscribe and notify to this shit.
Yes.
We need another 160 some odd subscribers so we can make some real money off this thing. Y'all want to see us back in studio? All we need is 160 more subscriptions.
And there you have it. And also, while we're also plugging subscriptions, please subscribe to our very good friends, the All Pro Joffos, on the Prenator Brothers Production YouTube channel. Also, get their subscriptions up because they have a goal of trying to get to 500. So please subscribe to them. They're very good friends of ours. They have been guests on this podcast, and also we have been frequent guests, all of us, at different points and periods on their show, and they're very good dudes. And of course, they are another outlet of covering the A7FL. So please, the Prenator Brothers Production YouTube channel.
East Coast Nuts, they're great. Good friends of the league for sure, but they are East Coast Division fans.
Nonetheless, get their subscriptions up. We will see you in a few on the Mizzle Dub Show, episode number 200. For Derek Duncan, I'm Double A. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week for 86, and we'll see you on the other side of the ball. Take care of yourself and each other. Thank you, sir.
Hey, y'all.